Okay, record. I think I have to share screen. Yes. Okay, it's sharing now. Okay. What? Here in tutorial. Yeah. So let's try to run this already existing vehicle class, which we did it in our earlier session. So for the convenience, what I did apart from last class is I just if you see build code here, it says that it's actually first cleaning the build and then it is transpiling the code. Okay. So earlier it was build. I'm using this one for cleaning the code. Now I'm added that code here in build. So what I'll do every time when I build the code, it actually cleans the build and then transpiles the code. So just it downs with one step just for the easiness. So npm run build. So I did this and building part is done and I'll start the code. So when I start, it shows nothing, which means we did nothing here. So let's go to some index where we're actually here. Let's console this. And let's see this again. Okay. So build again, which cleanses and builds again, and start, which should print the vehicle class. So which is vehicle and the name and color and price, which are set during the instantiation. So if you see Gautam's here, it is this. I created an instance for this vehicle with these three properties, right? So name of the vehicle is Stan. So you can see this name value is Stan. Okay. Okay, now let's go to a vehicle class and I want to modify, I want to decorate my name function. Okay, let's try to call this my name function, which is here dot my name. Let's see here what's the output. Build start. Did you see that? When I call this my name method, it's printing Stan. Okay, so there's the method. So now let's go back here to vehicle and let's start decorating this method with a new decorator. So I'll call it as, so as I said, decorator should start with at and followed by the name of the decorator. Let's call it as modify name. Okay. So it's in red color because that is not defined anywhere. So let's start creating that one. So as I said, it's a function. Okay. Function modify name, right? And it can have how many properties? Three. The first one is excellent. Of type? Super. The second one is excellent. Of type? Super. Third one is okay. Of type? Property descriptor, right? So I came inside this. So you might be wondering, so I decorated, this is a decorator which is called as modify name. So I used this decorator to decorate what? A method. Method of what? Class. What class? Vehicle class. So what's the object here? Vehicle. What's the property here? So see, my name is also a property, right? My name is also a property. So if I say, so now I'll try to explain what are these parameters. Okay. Target is the name of the object. What? Target is the name of the object that is being decorated. So what's the object here? Vehicle. Excellent. So target is the name of the object that is being decorated. So what's the object here? Okay, I'll try to show it for you. Console.log of target is target. Okay. And what's the property key? Property key is the property of that object which is being decorated. So here, my name is the property that is being decorated for object called vehicle, right? See. So let's try to print that one also. Prop key is Okay, and the third one, property descriptor is property descriptor. It defines about what property? My name. Excellent. So this key, this is the property, and this is the description of that property. You understand? So this is the property of this object, and this is the description of this property. Let's see. So now this is being decorated with this modified name. So this modifier name will get evaluated, right? And then it returns this value, this dot name. We are not modifying anything as of now. In our function, we are just printing the properties, and the return value will be from the original my name method. Okay. npm run build, and then npm start. So target is vehicle. Is it showing the object name? Okay. Property key is my name. Is that true? Property description is, it has a value which is of type function, right? It has only one value as of now. It is also writable. It's also it's not enumerable. It is configurable. So it is explaining about the property. What property? My name in this case, right? So the third property is the property descriptor, which explains about the property that is being decorated with the decorator called modify my name, right? Excellent. So if I want to change the value of this property, the value is function which is returning some value. Okay. So what I said, decorator is a function which modifies anything that is being decorated, right? So as of now, when I call this, it is printing the name stand, right? So I want to modify in between, because that is being decorated with decorator, right? So what I'll do is, let's go to code here. This is our function. So I think I'm commenting this. It just adds more confusion. Okay. So I want the whole value. Whole value is here. You can see this dot value. Excellent. So sorry. This one. Right? So I'm storing that function in whole value, which returns something. What's the return value of here is what? Name, stand, right? So now I'll add my own function to it. So prop des dot value is equal to is a function. Okay, I want this return not for not stang some OD. Okay, and I want to return this. This is returning OD. I want to return this property descriptor. As simple as that. Okay. Now see. Now what I'm doing is I'm commenting this decorator. I'm building the code. I'm starting the code, and it prints stang. It is not decorated yet. Now let's decorate with our decorator. Okay. Now let's build the code again. Now it starts. It doesn't print stang. It prints what? RD. Did you see the importance of this? What we did? This method, I'm decorated this method with some decorator. It modified the original value stang with OD, right? So I expected stang, but I got OD, right? Yeah. So I haven't done anything here in the definition part, right? I haven't done anything here. I just decorated it. Yeah, I just modified that method with the help of a decorator, right? So this is the magic of decorator. I think it's just when you decorate it with to any method, it does something. It evaluates to some expression and it returns, and that value gets changed. So can you name some values or the use cases of this?
So, the beginning you said it has different type void.
Which one?
The function decorator.
Yeah, it can be anything.
It
It can be anything. This should matches with the return type of this one. Okay. Method decorator should have a return type. Method decorator should have a return type, but not property descriptor or class descriptor or parameter descriptor. Method decorator will have a return type, which should be equal to the method that is being decorated with the decorator.
what happened instead of property descriptor, we can return anything, right? In that
Yes,
function.
yes, you can return anything. Yes. So that is why, see, this property descriptor has one property called value, right? Which is the value that is being returned, right? You can modify it. If I say, because this is a function, this is not a property. Okay, if it is a property, if I say it should not be configurable or it should not be writable, you cannot modify it. So this is used to mute properties.
Yeah, I got.
You can overload, you can stop overloading, right? So you can do whatever that is acceptable here, right?
So instead of what are the functions that I wrote, I can able to modify to the value that is going to be written, or else I can able to write my custom function instead of the function that is there.
Yes, exactly. So that is why I said in the beginning, if you have an object that is wrapped inside some gift box, and all of a sudden after some magic, if you open that, this pen got doubled, right? The same thing happening here. I have a method, I decorated it with something, and after decorator is evaluated, I got some other output, right? So it just makes sense. Yes.
To open that, two properties we are getting, right?
Yes.
But suppose I don't want to use. I want in some cases I want to use that one. In some cases I don't want.
You just don't do anything in your decorator. Just don't modify anything.
So can we pass any values to the decorator?
Yes.
That can be parameters.
Yes. So let's suppose I have this modified name, right? So let's suppose this have some parameter called some param pa or am. This name plus param, okay, right? So along this stang plus something. If I don't decorate this, it should. So let's go to index.ts name then stang from 4. Okay, let's see the output. Did you say stang from 4? Yeah. So now let's see what happens when I decorate this with a decorator. Let's come here and it expects some param, right?
So the function as this, it should match the function that is in the class.
You can access all these parameters using what?
Arguments.
Yes, arguments. Excellent. So we have only one difference here. Okay. So let's see this. Audi plus arguments of 0.
Or you can use that.
Hey, you can also use param. Let's see this. What will happen.
You can decorate it.
Hmm?
Fine.
Doesn't have to be. Okay.
So you created a new platform.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, that's not from Audi. Yeah.
That is the object, right?
Yes.
In mining, the returning is string.
So here the thing
Matching.
is completely overriding the existing mining function.
Yes.
We are doing that override. In simple.
In simple way. Okay. What's the question? What's the question? Yes.
No, here, the decorator, you are returning an object.
Not object, enter function. This function returns some value.
Property descriptor
See,
is a value.
property descriptor dot value. That value will be equal to the value of this my name written. Okay.
I will explain.
Okay, Nick. Yes. At component is class decorator. Yeah, let's go to the second decorator, which is parameter decorator. Okay. So let's try to have one parameter. Let's try to choose one parameter. Name. Okay. Price. Okay, I'll decorate this price with price decorator. Price dec. I'll call it as price decorator. It's in red color now because it is not defined yet. So let's try to create one. Huh?
So property just now I made some.
It's like syntax.
It's syntax signature. Yeah, that's it.
TPP.
So you can remember it in order. First one is method 3, then parameter property 2, parameter so class 1. Finally, parameter with 3 again. 3 2 1 3.
President. Documentation.
That's from your automatically suggested.
So this is a price decorator and started. So which actually has 2 parameters. The first one is again what? Target, which is of type object. The second one is property key, excellent, which is of type string. Okay. So as I said, so the use of this one is to modify the property value, right? But remember, this doesn't return anything. So how can we modify the property value? So we discussed one method in the beginning. What is that? If you want to modify a property of an object or you want to create a new property to an existing object, what method you use? Define property. Excellent, right? So we'll make use of that define property method here to modify the existing property or to add new property. Okay. So I'll have a reference to this now. So yeah, we can also directly use object dot define property. What's the object name here? Target. What's the property?
String.
Excellent. So wait. So we want to modify its value, right? So let's try to add value. Value as price is something that is we are decorating it with some 40 for 4 lakhs. I want to modify it to some 40 lakhs. Okay, some 50 lakhs.
That is string.
Huh? Is that string?
Yes. Price is string.
Okay. Some 500, 5,000, 50,000, 5 lakhs. Okay. And it doesn't return anything, right? So let's say this. So I'm not decorating. So just to make sure that our code works or not. So I'm not decorating this initially and I'm building the code. I'm starting the code. I'm not printing the value. Let's try to print it. Yeah. What is that? Yeah, price. Price only, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
Change
price.
price.
Okay, let's. Price is. Price is. Yeah, we are not decorated yet. So let's build code. Start. So price is as expected. Because we invoked with 44 lakhs, it's showing that. Now let's decorate it. No, I decorated with price decorator. I'm building the code again and starting the code. Oops. This dot price equal.
Define property. Second parameter is a string, right?
Hmm? Oh, okay. This is what you're saying? I think it doesn't work. Huh?
That sounds.
This is target object.
That should be name actually.
Name, define property.
Property key should be the name.
Be the name, right?
Name of price of thing. I think it should be price.
So what's the, let's see there. Cannot assign a read-only property. Price of object. Okay, it's saying that it's a read-only. So yeah. So who made this read-only?
The class.
Okay, let's writable. Let's make it as true. Okay. But this happens after it reads the value, right? I'm nowhere saying it should be read only. Yeah? Okay, let's try to run this. Okay, I understood. We have to tell it properly. Target of property.
We got value.
Name the value.
Huh?
Name
Yes.
property name.
The name will this this console log object
Okay.
comes string.
So that's a better idea. Cancel that logo of property.
Will print value.
Just
Console
print with both
Just print.
both the parameters.
Yeah, price.
Yes.
The second one, prop key, we can add directly prop key. We did this earlier, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's try again.
Numerate.
Use it to iterate, right?
Let's try this. I don't think we have to do all this. Object dot define property target property key. We don't have to. We said it has 5 lakhs.
Change our deck.
Oh, okay. I got it. Is this a right? It's a string.
What?
I don't think so. So it's not getting modified. So something is missing
Just
here.
check with doctor.
Okay, let's check the tutorial which I followed. This is the person who helped me to modify things. We have property descriptors. We're saying that he's saying okay, he's asking to set the value. Okay, configurable, enumerable. Did configurable? Okay. Do we need to set it value? I don't think so. We can directly have value, right? So what he's doing? So he's using set and get methods. Set method is used to set the value, and get method is used to return the value. Okay, let's try to do this. So we have so it's possible. So instead of having its value directly, he is going with what's this?
Set
So set is a function,
value.
so which actually sets the value. This dot. So let's have some let val equal to. So where can I find the value of it? Target of this, right? Property. Which one?
Target of
Which one?
target of
Okay, let's see this. Wait. There is a function which returns what? Return this dot. So do we need this here? Okay, let's try to run this. Build the code. Start the code. It says some error. Invalid property descriptor. Invalid property cannot both specify accessors and the value writable. It's saying we should not use value and this thing at the same time. So I haven't used value. Sorry guys, something is wrong.
We will do some R&D about that. You can quickly jump into the class.
Class on? No, yeah. Let's write. Property, we have get, set. Don't worry. When we are learning something, we should have some patience here. But trust me, this will help you a lot. What he's saying, he's having some value from target value, and he's getting the value, he's setting the value, he's defining the property. And this is what we are also doing.
Yeah.
Okay, he haven't mentioned anything here, but default it should get all this. That is okay. Set val, this val. Oh, he's trying to access like this. Yeah. He's directly. Now, what set method is doing is just accessing the value and assigning new value to it, right? So see this. Okay. And what this one is doing? Yeah, it's returning the value. Yeah. Let's see this. Where? Where?
This remove this.
Oh, yeah. Oh man, game price is 4 lakhs.
But you never assigned anything, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So we have to set the value. So where should we set the value? Sorry? We have to set that method. Yeah, we have to call that method. So what this guy is doing, he actually decorator with default name, meetup.greet, this domain. No, let's see this.
First value of target of property. First value of target.
Where?
Target of property. value equal to undefined option.
Wait. Okay, this is because we are initially assigning 4 lakhs to it, and we are not nowhere we are modifying it, right? So we have to call that somewhere we have to do that addition.
So 299. Or in the new.
Okay, yeah. Wait. My price. I have a method which will return the price. Okay, return this dot price. Okay, let's go to index prices. So let's see this my price. Okay. So now it's 4 lakhs. God. So this is returning the price. So this is price is decorated with price decorator, and this should get evaluator. So okay, we are not changing anywhere, but it should automatically change the value.
At least you need to call, right? Then only it is going to be changed.
Yes. No, we have to call it.
So suppose just log the property. We can do that.
Where? So what this guy is doing?
You're returning the same value. Can you check the value of the
Where?
inside the object setter method?
Okay. Hmm.
I sent you.
Oh, this one has to return, huh? No. Yeah. See, when I call this one property key here is price decorator, which is nothing but price. This dot price, we should return the new value. So okay. Yeah. Property value. Target key get setter enable to get better.
So that means you can't able to read the property, but you can able to access the property.
Yes.
That's it. But here you are trying to modify it, but we won't run.
Oh, actually, we should able to modify the value.
So without
See what getter is saying, what setter is saying.
without object descriptor, you can't able to modify.
Without object descriptor,
you can't able to modify the value.
yes. That is why we are using define property.
Define property is used to
Define the new value. I want to modify the value.
But you don't have any chance to define a new value here, right?
Yeah, why? I can actually change the value. I should be able to change. Otherwise, see what this one is doing. What is the use of our define property method? It should be able to either modify the value or it should be able to add new property, right?
We don't need to.
So I want to modify this property key.
What is inside?
So let's try to. Is it writable?
Configurable and new.
Okay. It's writable, it's enumerable, and see, it's definitely value, right? If it's simply a string, we can make use of this value function, value property of attribute, right? Value attribute, yeah.
Whenever we are going to access the property, the class property, then only the decorator is going to get exceeded, right? Then try to call again and try to log something here.
Yeah, let's see this. Okay, what can we do is, let's console the value here, okay? Console.log of, let's see if its value gets
Instead of
changed. Or not.
target, just write this.
Which one?
This.
Property? Oh, we have to invoke with the new values.
No, everything is right there. Starting we have to this.
Okay,
Right is the ending.
I can't write. Yeah, see, in the beginning I said that accessor and data descriptor can't be used at a time. Either one can be used. So which is, if you are using accessor descriptor, we should not use data descriptor. Now because we are using accessor type, that's why it is saying that we should not use writable. That's why I remember. But those are optional, configurable, and so now it got executed. Price is getter or setter. So what it's saying is vehicle of price is getter or setter.
Print the target at the beginning.
Forget the price.
Hmm?
Forget the price. Forget the price.
See, wait. See this? It can be either setter or getter, right?
Long dot.
Okay, let's try it in the same way like this guy did. What he is doing actually, he is making a function with value that he got. Oh, he is modifying value here. Did you see that? Value plus I'll tell you.
It's a string.
Is a string?
Price is value.
You see that is showing because
Wait, I got it. That getter is a function. So we'll end this here. In the same way, setter is also a function. Let's write it here. Okay. Val is new val.
that is confirmed.
New val. Very good. I got it. Now I can remove this set with setter, and this get is getter. Right? So set where I'm actually setting new value to already existing value. Huh? Still not? So at the time of returning the value, oh, this actually got the new value.
No, it's
Correct, right?
It's try to access the property.
So let's try to have this. And this is messing up my day. Yeah.
price.
So what's the lesson we learn now? So
You can able to see the new price there at the last.
Then remove anything coming to return value first. It's coming to
no, I
return
think
value.
these are essential.
Just make it comment.
Because
Okay.
price is
So there is some default value for it.
value.
See, if it is enumerable is by default true, and configurable is by default true. Writable is by default false. Right? So what does this mean? This is an accessor property descriptor. So if it is an accessor type, we should set setter and getter, right? So that is what we missed. So we are actually setting the value which is coming from here. Huh? No, but see, we have to modify it at the time of returning. We didn't do that.
Just adding it. Not just adding some.
See, I modified its value at the time of returning. Right?
5x. Value equals 5x.
Okay. Yeah. This is what you're saying.
You have to change the value. The value equal to 5x.
Where?
The first link. What here we are going to do, that is the goal.
See, these are getters and setters. See, when we can actually set the value at the time of object initiation, so that value get instantiated. I mean, that get assigned to VAL val. So which is 4 lakhs. So at the time of getting, we have to modify its value, right? So let's try to run this.
So there is the main advantage, we can able to instant get.
So it depends on what type of property it is, right? If it is an accessor, we have to modify at the time of getter. If it is a data descriptor, we can modify using value, right? We got the new value. Yeah. Because it is an accessor type descriptor, we have to make use of setters and getters. That's the only thing. So we lost at this part. Okay. So two things are done, which is method descriptors and property descriptors. The third one is class descriptor. Okay. Okay, class decorator. Sorry. So try to understand here, what is a class decorator? We decorate classes with class decorator. What does it mean? Oh, sorry.
Property descriptor.
Okay. See, property descriptors are used to decorate a property. Okay. So at the time of, by default, the property can have some value, right? So the use of this property descriptor is either you can change the value, right, of that property. So generally we use to modify that value. So that is why we use property descriptors. So if that property descriptor says this property is of type accessor descriptor, we have to make use of setters and getters. See, when you, yeah, okay. See, you see this target here. So earlier it shows that it's a getter or setter. Wait, I'll tell you. So what's the question? How to know whether it's a accessor descriptor or data descriptor, right? Okay. So let's try to do this. So this gives us, okay, no, not this. So we have a method called get on descriptor property descriptor, right? So object dot get one property descriptor of target comma target of property. right? Now this should give us information whether it's a
The second one
access.
is property.
The second one is
key,
property
right?
name, yeah, key.
Your that is value.
Okay. You can directly do it, you know?
Yes.
So now let's see this. Yeah, you see that if any property descriptor says it has set and get methods, this is of type accessor type, accessor descriptor. If it doesn't have get and set methods, it is data descriptor. So in this way we can find out what type of property it is. So
Why it is saying an accessor descriptor and type price method?
sorry.
Why it is a accessor descriptor property?
So why it is an accessor descriptor, but why it is not a data descriptor? So that's a
You have
good.
written some method like matrix because of that it shows
It's a setter and getter. It's like
It has written within price description. Console is within
And the question is, she's asking, we have a property called price in vehicle, and it is saying that this is of the descriptor says that this is of type accessor descriptor, but not data descriptor. Why?
how
How and how, whatever it is. Okay. See, generally, a class can have properties, right? So all properties we can. So let's suppose we can set properties. So this one actually TypeScript supports setters and getters, right? The use of setters and getters is to set the properties, right? At the time of instantiation using public methods. If that property is of type private, if its access type is private, using public methods, we can using getters and setters we can assign some value state, and we can make access those values using public methods, right? So, but I think like any property of a class can be both, no.
I saw it like
It just says vehicle class.
clearly says set it, right? She is asking, this is written in property. Right. Go. Price description method లో ఉంటుంది. It gets set it చూస్తున్నాను అడుగుతాను.
లేదు తను ఏం చెప్తున్నా అంటే, see, my idea is any class can have properties that can be, you make use of setters and getters, right?
The decorators are defined by as, right? So then there is no need to know that what kind of it is. Based on your requirement, you have to use what kind of thing you want,
Yes.
right?
See, if it is a property, make use of setters and getters. If it is a method,
Because there is no prop description to modify the value. That is why you are using get and set. In method decorator, you
It
have
has value.
It has value where you can go and change using property descriptor. This doesn't have property descriptor, so we are using set and get.
so her question is why. That is, so because any property of a class can have setters and getters.
Yeah, because here the question is why means you don't have proper requirement, right? So if you have clear requirement, then you can
based on
able to
requirement.
use whatever you want. Right? The decorators are defined by
you are
us.
confusing now.
No, no.
Okay, okay, simple. See, the baseline is any property of a class can have setters and getters. Are we agreeing on this point?
Yes.
Right? Is it possible to set or get for methods of a class? No, right? So at that time it can have value, right? Property descriptor dot value is possible for methods, but not for properties. If they are properties, that should be get and set, right? Yeah.
For property, we have to use set and get.
Setters and getters. Clear?
For main method,
For
we
methods,
always change
we'll make use of value.
properties.
And that too, decorators are defined by ourselves, so
Yeah.
no need to confuse.
Yes.
Because if we have the clear vision about what we want, then
Yes.
Okay, and let's talk about class decorators. So tomorrow.
yes.
Okay. So
It's already
yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. Let's talk with more interesting points tomorrow about rest of the 2 decorators, which are
and we will revise once.
yeah, sure.
Because
Class decorators. There are only 4 decorators. Hey, you get an understanding about this one, right? Okay.